How's it going? Much love. Thanks for joining again. And today we have another Pranic reading as we've been proceeding through some wisdom of the ages from one of today's modern sages. We are back with the Pranic pages. So if you haven't heard of the Pranic pages or perused through that playlist, before we say this, you can check out that playlist, and of course it's called Pranic pages. So let's go ahead and start. Now this is cool because Janet, you've actually done a whole course with the author of this book.
Yes.
And you know, just real quick, can you tell me, like, what is your impression, or what was the impact or the influence or the connection that you felt with Akahi and Camilla?
I first came across them in the very beginning of my breathwork journey. And I immediately just loved their energy. I love that you could tell that they practice what they preach type thing, and they're really just about it, and it's a lifestyle for them. They live by the Breatharian lifestyle.
Okay.
And so that's something I really connected with, because I was at the time also getting into pranic living, breath work, everything that goes along with a breatharian lifestyle. So that's how I resonated with them.
Okay. So you were drawn to them for those aspects. Yeah. Okay.
They really knew what they were talking about, and they taught a lot about how the science is proven to back it up. That had some proven to improve our health and connect neurotransmitters in the brain. They taught me about different levels, like different brain states. They had also the information to back up what they were practicing and teaching on a scientific level. So I appreciated that as well, because in order for me to share it with others, that's crucial for me to also know that information.
Awesome. As we get into it, we'll just kind of freestyle with it and just read through a few chapters and just kind of see what comes up, see what we feel about it as we read the words. And have you read this book before?
I have not.
Okay, cool. Cool. So, chapter 3. After my Breatharian initiation. It's surprising how extraordinarily energizing the power of the breath is. This knowledge has been shared by the masters of spiritual traditions in many parts of the world through the centuries in different forms. The better known ones are the various practices of yoga, tai chi, and qigong. After this first experience, my wife and I would sit facing each other every evening with a candle between us and practice breathing. While doing this very short practice of breathing, I would start to feel my hands tingling. It felt like a current of electricity was passing through my skin and spine. It was like pumping pulsations of energy which passed through to my crown. That was a very new sensation that I hadn't explored before. I continued to experience no hunger. Instead, I felt a lot of energy in my body. People used to see me in the street and ask me what I just did, because I looked very young, fresh, and healthy. They told me my eyes were bright. This kind of feedback was new to me, because before this process, people used to tell me that I looked older, which I didn't like. But after this process, people started telling me that I was glowing. I too saw myself as a new being, very fresh, very clean. While integrating this process through the practice of breathing, I developed an awareness that there are other realms of energy that we can interact with.
Beautiful.
So what does that chapter kind of resonate with you? Like, how do you reflect on that?
I mean, same thing happened to me. I always got that I looked young, but most definitely I get, what are you doing? Or just like I mentioned to you the other day, a gentleman said, are you tapping into the fountain of youth? People think I'm 19, 20, or in my early 20s. I get that a lot, like 24, 25. I'm 34. So yeah, I get that I look 10 years younger than I do all the time. Yeah. But the tingling in the hands, I resonate with that.
The electricity.
The electricity.
Pulsation.
I felt that a lot in the beginning when I first started practicing because I feel like my body maybe didn't have that oxygen or that flow as fully as it does now. And so it was that tingling that was like activating that I felt like, oh, this is new.
Yeah.
I don't experience the tingling as much now, but I definitely experienced that in the beginning when I first started practicing, or when I do more intense breath work.
Yeah.
Actually, I do get the tingling still. Yeah.
And when he was talking about the sensation of the removal of hunger, like, does that come with more breath? You feel less dense?
The more you breathe, the less you need.
All right. So, did you start to have that awareness as well when you really started going into the deep breath work, that you started craving things less, or that you started needing things less?
Yes, I found that I didn't want to do anything that would hinder my breathing.
Okay.
And so for me, overeating, or eating in general would hinder the depth of the amount of breath I could take into my belly. And so that's where I would choose to maybe do a practice like some qigong or some breath work in place of getting something to eat. And it would re-energize me in the place of having that meal that would maybe stagnate my internal energy. I started replacing it with these things that we've learned in place of that, and it's more energizing actually, because when you consume the food in place of to get that energy, your body then has to digest it. And it has to do all that work. So it actually takes energy to consume food, as opposed to doing a breathing exercise or practice or something nourishing in a different type of way to get that energy. It's not actually taking energy. It's only giving energy. And so that's where we learn to actually cultivate our energy and maintain a high battery and never be all the way drained.
Yes. I love that. So like, the more that you gain, the less you are drained. The more you maintain, the more you sustain.
Correct.
Whoa. So it's like you feel that throbbing energy when you're no longer robbing energy. And oh man, this is good. So you can deepen the diaphragm. You really feel like you can expand fully, breathe fully, inhale fully, exhale fully, and fully live, you know?
We get a lot from the prana and the air all around us. But if we're not properly breathing, it's going to be hard for our bodies to maintain that, like, kind of more lifestyle or those things in place. It's you know, if you try to practice breatharianism or pranic living, any type of thing like that, but you're not fully breathing, it's going to be more difficult for you to achieve that state or maintain that state. But allowing the breath makes it literally effortless, because it is a foundation to be in this state.
Elitam would always say, like, meditation is the foundation. He say meditation is medication. Meditation is the foundation, you know? And relaxation is like the mother of creation. So you can find a lot through those modes of relaxation instead of being in more frustration, you know?
And it's helping to retrain the body. Knowing you have to, it's kind of like the body needs proof too. It's like, okay, we're doing this breath, it got what it needed. It's proving to the body every time that it doesn't need the other source. It can get it from this source also. So it's proving to the body each time, and it's reprogramming the body also to operate more in that way.
Absolutely. So let's continue. So chapter 4, initial contact with the source. One day, I was lying in bed after doing my breathing practice. I was relaxing my body with the intent of going to sleep, and I felt a sort of loving energy presence. Again, I felt the electricity bubbling on my skin. I felt as if it was trying to communicate with me. When this happened, I mentally said, all of these new sensations are coming to me to make me feel good. I accept these new changes in my life. I am ready. Tell me what I need to know. I opened myself to this realm. Once I did this, I immediately started having different dreams, spiritual dreams, in which light beings came to me. The first dream was very profound. It was like a blueprint within me. In my first dream, light beings came to me to do what I call etheric surgery. Have you ever heard of this?
Oh yeah.
Okay, what is...
I've experienced it, and I've heard many others share their experiences as well.
What was it like when you experienced that?
So you just have a knowing. Like, I interact with multi-dimensional beings, as you know, for pretty much my whole life. And it's just expanded, and I've just learned how to venture out more. But it's like it's all you. These other beings are just you and another time and space. So it's you and another time and space, seeing you in the 3D realm and seeing you do this work on yourself, and your higher selves are supporting you. And so it's just kind of, it's energetic work, which energy doesn't know distance. So it doesn't matter which dimension or time and space that these other light beings are in. Energy doesn't know distance. So they can just how I perform Reiki on people at a distance, they're just doing Reiki, you know, on a big scale. So they're just seeing what it is within your body, utilizing the technologies and things that they have and they know, to help assist you in your healing here now.
Okay.
And so some people are able to actually perceive this and have that intuitive and knowing also, and know exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
And some people might not know what's happening.
Right.
You know, they might experience some sensations and not really know, but the more you're open, like he said, it's the breath has opened him more spiritually,
Right.
more dimensionally.
Right.
So the more like open you are to your individual multidimensionality, you're able to access that, tap into that, you will be able to perceive better and more clearly like where it's coming from.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, that just reminds me, because I remember Raki, we know Raki, we met Raki Shari, and you might know her on YouTube as the Breatharian Yogini. She documents, and she gave an account where she was going through a period of fasting, and it was like she received that etheric surgery where she could tell that there was another being that was just like, she was on the couch just laid out, and they were like working on her.
That's exactly how it is for me, how I experience it. It's usually when I'm laying down.
Yeah.
And I'll be in bed or just my sleep spot, and then you'll feel things moving.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing anything.
No.
You can tell that it's something else doing it, and I know that it's helping me, that it's for my benefit. And so I surrender even more in that moment, and I say thank you, I give gratitude.
Yeah.
And I say just thank you, and I just allow to do whatever they're doing, because I know it's helping me.
Yeah, that's literally what she said. She said that she had to surrender. Like, at first she tried to fight it, like she tried to, like she didn't understand what was going on, and she tried to resist it, but it was like the energy was it was trying to assist her. While she was trying to resist, it was trying to assist.
Yes.
And then she finally just let go and said, do what you need to do, whatever you need to do, just do it. And that's when it cleared, or just did whatever it needed to work on her body. And she said she felt upgraded. Like she felt like she had a whole nother,
It's important though, like in that beginning, to just use discernment, because there's a lot of energy stuff that's maybe going around.
Okay.
So to just, tap in, use your discernment, assess what's going on, and then surrender if you feel that it's okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So while drifting off into my dream, I experienced very clearly an energetic healing. My whole being was vibrating, and the temperature of my body dramatically changed to cold and then hot. There were small involuntary movement of muscles, bones, and neck seemingly readjusting their structure. The whole experience was pleasant, and after it, I felt a new kindness to myself and everything on the planet. The next morning, when I woke up, I was so happy, so blissful. My wife beside me, and she said, "Wow, you look so happy this morning, like you're glowing. What happened to you?" I said, I had this dream that was so powerful. And she started to ask me about the dream. So I explained very clearly from the beginning of the dream and how it was. The moment in which these beings came to me, what I felt in my body, how I saw them changing my organs, and the different sensations that I felt. I also told her about the clarity I gained in my mind and emotions. As I explained this dream to her, she was able to feel the same healing, to feel the same process in her body. And she also uplifted. She was uplifted just by hearing the story of the dream. She told me, maybe this is what some people call channeling. Maybe this is the way it's starting to manifest for you. For me, all of this was very weird. I had never been into this kind of thing. I was an artist who just wanted to share the gift of my art. Yet because I was accepting these new things, I said, okay, maybe that's what's happening. I accept this possibility. If this is a channeling process that is happening through me, I accept it. And by my accepting it, the dreams and information became sharper, more consistent, more refined, like ideas and inspiration to create a formula, a new method that requires less time, less danger, and is body friendly, so that anybody who wishes to get to know it can practice, and with comprehensive tools to take home and integrate into people's everyday life. So I could feel your energy during this, like what was it bringing up for you?
I forgot. I was trying to not interrupt.
No worries. But he was recounting what was happening to him, to his wife, and then she was saying the same things. Go ahead.
Yes, how that was interesting to me, how he just let her know, and then she was able to receive the healing as well. Because like I've mentioned, lots of this energy is just pouring down on us. And sometimes it's our own perception or thoughts or beliefs that could be creating a block to receiving. So maybe somehow her trusting him as her partner and knowing this happened to him maybe relieved some type of block mentally that she might have, or belief that she might have had, that allowed just that interaction of them sharing opened up, I would say, created a space, opened up like a channel. That opened up a channel to pass that healing to her as well.
Okay. So just that vulnerability, just that openness, just that sharing, which is, they always say sharing is caring, right? But if you're daring to be sharing in that way, you're saying that can actually open up a channel. Okay.
For that other person to receive as well.
Okay.
But if they were never aware of that information,
okay,
where's that channel?
Right.
You see, you're creating that channel.
Got it. Got it.
Something that's cool too about the energetic surgery is that I felt it like do work on the organs, like he said, and then you have also mental clarity, emotional clarity,
right? Because the
organs have multiple functions. I was taught, like many of us, that a lot of their purpose was just digestion.
Right. Yeah.
But when you stop making it work so hard on that and allow it time and energy to do its other functions, I have learned that all of our organs have many functions, and so they play into our emotional state and our mental state as well. So by healing the organs and just allowing them to do other things that they are meant to do, will help us achieve more of our ultimate potential. Yeah. And then the energetic surgery, one more thing. I felt it do on me and me surrender, but I also do a lot of massage and energy work, Reiki, with my hands, my whole life. So as I am like sometimes working on my own hips, it's like something, I stop thinking about what I'm doing, and something is directing my hands. Something is helping me, like just direct, I stop thinking. I stop thinking, and I just allow like my hands, it's like they're directing my hands to also assist me in healing myself.
Whoa, okay.
So that's something I've experienced related.
So it's like they're able to show where your hand should go. Okay.
Like they don't, like they can do energetic surgery their ways, which does other things, but maybe my hands physically, you know, touching my muscles is a different.
Okay. Beautiful. Wow. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. So the last part of this chapter is, for the next months, I practiced conscious breathing as well as gazing to the sun at sunrise every day while meditating on my breathing. Gradually, my body learned to breathe, and step by step to create its own formula when I was focused on my breath with intensity, inhaling deeply in full lungs expansion. I noticed my body wanting to take in more air, oxygen, and energy. Now I just want to stop here for a second, because I like how he says gradually my body learned to breathe. And I don't know what age he is at this point, but I mean, we say we've been breathing all our lives, but it feels like, did we ever really know how to breathe deeper? It feels like children, intuitively, they already are breathing the way that we're supposed to be breathing. But it feels like for some reason, as we move on into adulthood, we convert into a more restricted breath. And it's like we forget.
Limited.
Yeah, limited. And our capacity is limited, our breath is limited, and our experience is limited because our breath is
a reflection of that.
Right. It's like they say, if the breath is the spirit, you know, it's like, how can the universe hear it when your breath is the spirit and you're not really breathing, you know, as full as you could be, as great as you could be, you know, as expansive. So I like how, you know, people find it interesting, and people sometimes find it funny when they hear about breath work. They're like, what, I gotta learn how to breathe? But it's like, yeah, we forgot, you know? Yeah. You
know, not even that we forgot. I would say I was never really taught.
Right, we weren't even taught.
I wasn't really taught.
Okay.
It's like it's something that we should know instinctually.
Yes.
To just, you know, but that's so shallow too.
Yeah.
Like you said, babies, children, we are born that with an intuitive knowing how to belly breathe. If you watch babies, they belly breathe. And so you said, we know what happens through life that makes it restricted or constricted, limited. Is it's trauma, it's pain, it's anxiety, it's sadness, it is limiting thoughts, patterns, beliefs that we're holding, all add to the constricting of the breath, you know.
So all that stuff gets stuck. Yeah.
You know, when you're feeling like some really high anxiety or something, it's usually if you check in when you're feeling anxious, you're usually not breathing deep and slowly. You're usually at a very like kind of in a panting way. When we have panic attacks and whatnot, it's check in with the breath, and if you can in that moment correct the breathing pattern, like say you're having a really anxiety, and you can, you know, do the box breathing, you know, inhale 4 seconds, hold 4 seconds, breathe out 4 seconds, hold 4 seconds. Any type of little technique like that I've done at times to get that breath pattern back going, the anxiety will go away. And so it all goes back to the breath. You know, if we can retrain our breath in a more healthy pattern, a lot of the anxiety and maybe not so good feelings will also go away. Yeah.
No, I agree. So I love what you said, Janet. You said it's not that we forgot, but we were never really taught.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
But that's, you know, what we're creating now, the future we're creating now.
Yes.
I'm going to teach all the children I can about meditation, about breath, about your chakras, about your energy body, about all these things that I wasn't taught.
Yeah.
So that's what we do, is we do our best. Our parents did our best. My mom taught me everything that she could. That was the foundation that got me where I am now. And then I've learned more, and then we just pass that on, and this is how we evolve.
Yes. Oh, I love it. Love it. Love it. So, strong vibration. So, my breathing started to change from deep and slow breathing to a rapid and circular respiration pattern. I became used to feeling the strong vibration and current of electricity. At the same time that I was doing all this practice, decoding how prana works in the body, the ideas and inspiration kept pouring into my mind. I learned the pranic nourishment techniques and pranic fasting formula that you will learn in the next chapters of this book. These techniques are part of the now world-famous 8-day process. So that's the end of chapter 4 as we continue to explore. And yeah, just...
And finding we can do so much more.
So much more.
So much more.
So much more that is always in store, you know? So thank you so much for listening, you know? And share this with someone you feel needs to hear it. Keep that grateful, thankful spirit, and allow the rest of your life and the breath of your life to be the best of your life. Yeah. Take care. We'll see you again.
Thank you.